Bro, don't nobody give a fuck about that
skip
plan
out
that
on
you got
yourself.
going on, man. Don't nobody give a damn about that plan. But there's a process, right? We all sit back and we like, damn, what can I do to make what I desire in my life happen? And there's ways you want to go about the desiring, but we'll have that in another conversation. You desire this thing. I love music. There's something else that you want to do, right? If you're desiring this stuff, bruh, you got to be okay with not giving a fuck about what someone else is trying to make you do, right? 1 second. Car about to go off and shit. Excuse me. 1 second. Okay. So you got to not care about what someone else think you should do, even though they're not thinking about that. We all got this unknown voice in our head that be trying to dictate whether or not this is right for us and that right for us. Man, you know what you need to follow, bro? You need to follow your intentions, where you constantly putting your higher energy focused at. You know what I'm saying? Not where you putting your lower energy at. Your lower energy can go to, the women, the emotional explanations that you always miss because you are learning to explain that. The interactions that you have that piss you off, and then it make you want to exert a sort of energy into maybe overeating or skipping the gym or staying up late. That energy, you don't follow that shit. Follow the energy that always keeps you above ground and beyond. That's the energy that you want to follow, and that's the energy that you want to set your purpose for foundation upon, right? That's the energy you want to set your purposeful foundation upon, right? And when you're going on the journey of discovering your purpose, there's so many routes that you think you should take, but there's only one route that's intentional for you to take. One. And as you continue to ask your higher conscience, man, what I got to do to acquire this? Not on no sacrifice shit to where like you giving up a limb or a body, but you're sacrificing pieces of the old you that don't need to be around, so that you can steadily focus on the energy that is circulating around what it is that you desire. You can focus on that. And when you're focusing on the energy that is around what you desire, these tools like video games, the game of life that we're living in, they naturally pop up and they request that you take a quest, right? Take a journey here. Discover some new tools that you can have as you go along your process. It's a process. And I love building processes and being a part of processes and turning and watching everything happen in front of your eyes as the result is being created. Because that's the last thing that's going to happen. That's the last time you're probably going to feel that type of result during this process, because usually it only happens once. And it can happen again, but this ain't like a video game. You got My Career, you can delete a character and start over again. It ain't like that, bro. You get one of you. You know what I'm saying? And when you're going through this process, man, love this process. And don't be afraid to go do the process 100%. You can't skip out on yourself. That's not okay. That's disrespectful. To skip out on who you desire and admire, your higher conscience, skip out. Remember, it's okay to have desires, but be confident in them desires. Don't be depressed in them desires. Don't be delusional to the point where you taking out yourself and you don't even know what's going on anymore. Like, nah, stay afloat. You know what I'm saying? Be confident, bro. And understand that when you're going through these processes, boy, it's gonna get ugly, bro. It's gonna get super ugly. But that ugliness is just beauty, man. Cause you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Cause you fresh. It's hard to explain an experience, but then again, it's very simplistic as you stay within the experience and you adjust to the frequency. You know what I'm saying? You adjust to what's going on. You adjust to the energy that people are trying to persuade you with. And then you adjust to the intentional actions that yourself, meaning your higher conscience, is trying to get you to see and digest and look at 24/7. And that has to get acquired. It has to get shifted into your identity. You have to shift that into your identity. That mentality that your higher conscience withholds for you It's being withheld for you. You know what I'm saying? That time when you always thinking about that little spark of it happening, that's not a wish or a hope, bro. That's real life. You just got to go through that process. You got to take that action. You got to be willing to just go, bro. And there be times where I'm looking at the action, I'm like, damn, bro, this shit, man, I've been doing good for 3 months. Bro, stop counting. You say you passionate, bro. Passion don't got no limit. Know what I'm saying? Shit that you want in life, bro, there ain't no measurements, bro. Excuse the noise. I'm at work. I'm just trying to get y'all this message that I keep downloading, man. But there ain't no limits, bro. Only thing you got is pure execution. That's all you got is pure execution. I don't even know where they get their packages at for real. But you got pure execution. You got now and you got execution. You got existence, bro. You out here and you able to comfortably and uncomfortably engage in your real time, meaning your focus and energy into whatever. Oh yeah, make that happen, bro. And I'm telling you, the process is gonna be ugly, but it gets so goddamn beautiful once you realize how this process shit work. Excuse the noise right quick. It get ugly, but man, it's beautiful, man, to understand how much ugly I had to go through. All them nights where I was crying in my whip because I didn't know what it was like to turn myself into a man, bro. I didn't know what that shit was like, man. I'm over here thinking that pussy make you a man. Or acquiring some money make you, like, all this weeks to make you a man. Like, nah, bro. I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? That's a process, though. You gotta be willing to step forward and say, yes, I'll take the challenge and use the tools that I got to survive and bring myself out of survival and to just relax and locate myself into peace and confidence. And then you step forward and you say, you know what? Now we got better tools. We can continue this journey. Then the journey get a little harder. You got to get some better tools. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the flow go. And it get hard to where your mind, it get bottled up. You want to explode. That's where communication come in at. You got to communicate to yourself. You got to communicate whenever anger wants to exert as the mask. It wants to exert. Whenever sadness wants to not exert, but wants to insert itself as the mask. You got to communicate whenever happiness wants to overly compensate I'm at work, so sorry for the speed bumps, but whenever happiness wants to overcompensate itself to hide from what is going on internally, like, and when you want to stay up late, I do this stuff myself, and I'm starting to realize that shit is very unhealthy. The boy did that, right? Our younger selves, our old selves, who was grown up and grew up around our family members and took on their coping mechanism. That stuff don't work during the process. What's going to keep me up? What's going to keep me afloat? Even when them days look ugly, like I had a little ugly day today. It felt ugly, but it wasn't. It was beautiful. I didn't let shit bother me, right? And that's becoming a norm now. It used to be a norm to let everything bother me. Now there ain't no norm when shit gonna bother me in my universe. I can't control shit in other people's universe that they trying to put on me. But I can damn sure pay attention to what's going on in mine. Right? Because that's the one I'm mainly in. That's the one I exist in. You have to exist in your own universe, man. You're the main character in your own world. That has to be at an all-time high. And you got to respect that. Because that's where it all starts at. That's the beginning. And it's endless. Because life just keep going on. And that process always gives the middle finger to the result, because the process is the main character. The result is just the little disguise that you receive. But the process is where you really make love at. Think about this. And this is no shade to kids. When the kid comes from the woman's womb, where did it initially start at? It started with the introduction outside of a marketplace, fresh market, where you were grabbing some oranges and you found a pretty lady. And that was the initial process. You didn't know you was going to have a kid with this woman. But the approach, and the approach again. Then let's sit down, let's have a conversation, let's go out. Another process, another part of the process. And then eventually, a couple years later, y'all going out regularly. Oh, y'all talking about kids now. You know what I'm saying? Then the result comes, you have a kid. Oh, you got to get some greater tools now, because now you got the result. You got to be able to keep the kid up, healthy, alive. You know what I'm saying? And that was just an example of how the process and result play each other's role. But if it was a good example, I'm just floating off the top of my head, honestly. The process, though, that was just the download I had. I'm listening to these beats and music and thinking about how I'm going to flow into me branding myself, right? And being confident in doing that and knowing that, bro, I ain't never did this shit before, bro. I ain't never turned myself into a brand, bro. So how the hell I'm finna look pissed off at me, or pissed off at the world, or pissed off at anything, or anything that comes in my way? I get to just put my energetic negative energy on it because I don't know what I'm doing, because I ain't never did it before. Like, that's just, you gotta pull what's pulling you down to the root instead of it pulling you down to the root. And you look at that thing like, yeah, what's up? What's going on? Now that thing got a funky face. So what's the thing? It's probably the emotion, because that's majority of the time what everybody loses to, the emotion. And then they go do what? I told myself today, I'm like, look, bro, you can't run to no pussy no more. You can't get no sex, man. Because that's not what's going to help you right now. You need to stray away from that. You need to withhold your seed, my brother. Okay, cool. And with doing that, there's a lot of other things that come along that you are being distracted with, because now you're taking away the main focus of what you was focusing on. Now you can take that away. So instead of putting your energy over there, you can put it more in tune with the alignment of what you keep asking for, what you keep wanting to receive. You can put your energy in that alignment. Now you're not being distracted. As you're not being distracted, your strength within alignment can build up. As it build up, you can feel the tug and the pull on what it is that you are wanting. Now you stop wanting it because presently you're acquiring it daily. It's a whole line of intention that requires itself to be in action daily for what it is that you desire in this world. And you have to go through that process of understanding how that happens. And once you go through that process of understanding of how that happens, and then you acquire what it is that you didn't know you had to go through to get this, once you get it, now you know how to do it. And that's when the easy work come in. Just rinse and repeat. And you start off with small things, man. I started off with small things like vehicles. Vehicles are very small, in my opinion, because they have a price on them and they have a wear and tear on them. So I first acquired my car. I was like, man, I want me a car. So I started working harder, and I've literally aligned my focus and my energy on making money at a job. So I didn't go out. I didn't spend money on weed. I didn't do that. This is when I was younger, when I did smoke a lot of weed. And it's like, okay, cool. So you seen that little glimpse. Watch out, bug. You seen that little glimpse of focus and energy and where you put it at. That little small stuff right there can take you a long way. Peace. I'm going to get back to work. So I just wanted to drop off a message. But yeah, stay intentional, driven, and always support yourself through love. Don't always get angry and frustrated and caught up in your own mishaps, man. It's tough out here because you don't know. That's the only reason why it's tough. It's not tough because it's physically or mentally hard. It's only tough because you just don't know what to do. You don't know how to acquire what it is that you desire. So take the risk in learning that. And throughout the process, yeah, you're going to have them days where you're pissed off, but don't ignore that. Learn how to communicate to that, bruh, so that it don't keep popping up unknown. It pop up with a registration on it. Now you like, oh, there it go. Maybe something happened yesterday. Now I'm going to be probably a little mad today. So before it happens, you catch it and you respond instead of react. It's the whole process. It's beautiful, though, because the first time is ugly. You don't know that shit, 3 is supposed to be in 1 and 2 is supposed to be in 5. You know, it's a lot of confusion. Peace, though. Peace. I'll come through again with another one whenever another one come through. You dig? All right.